Whoa. What's down with it? Number one dog in the fall, Ryan Gray. Yeah, man. I just been in here doing a little review on myself, man, and everything that's going on, man. And like, you know what I'm saying, I think I kind of like got in front of myself in the terms of not being clear about who and what I am, man. So, you know, when people take my perspective, they be trying to be like, nigga, this nigga is over the top. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker is like, you know, some attention hound or some shit like that. And if you really truly know me, you know I'm anything but that, because I don't talk. But when I do talk, I talk from a place of real passion and real fire and so forth and so on. But when people will wonder where that energy come from, you know what I'm saying? Is it some shit that I try to be? Is it some shit that I try to, you know, show off or make myself, you know, come across or with this animated style and nothing like that? And it's not none of that, man. The whole fact of it is that I'm really intact with my spirit and my soul and my life, you know what I'm saying? I really have to have a whole grip on my energy flow that's different from everybody else, man. They might be relaxing in a different phase of reality than I'm in. But I'm highly aggressive. And not just saying it in the terms of just being cliche or sounding good, but I mean like aggressive in my approach and stuff like that, because that's how I am in my mentality. I had to be really aggressive as a person to be, you know, to be viable, to be reliable, whatever you want to call it. But my point in saying is that my original situation from the beginning, a lot of people might not know it because, you know, I was raised with my grandma, my grandparents and stuff like that. But I'm a product of babies having babies. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mom was 17 years old when I touched the planet. And my daddy was 14 years old when I touched the planet. And so, like, you know, me being born in August, my mom was born in September, my daddy born in October, August, September, October. So 3 months in the stretch. So when I was actually born, August 21st or whatever, my mama was 17 years old, about to make 18. And my daddy was 14 years old, about to make 15. And so, like, man, you know, when you come into the world at those phases and shit like that, when that's your existence from the beginning, you know what I'm saying? I was born in a charity hospital. Woo, 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 woo. Everybody that have any knowledge of the situation, man, you know, they gonna always look at it differently. They want to see how this kid gonna turn out. You know what I'm saying? Like, this little kid right here, we got to see what happened with his life, because from day one, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's been unfair odds, you know what I'm saying? I can't say it's unfair because God gave me a life. But God gave me circumstances within my life that I realized, and I wasn't willing to make my life an excuse. You know what I'm saying? I already understood from the very beginning, like Pac said, I'm against all odds. Everything in the world said I'm not going to make it. And so whatever story that suffice for that fucking situation is cool. But because I was aware of that, that's where I feel like my intelligence kicked in at. And I've been intelligent and aware of who I was and what I was and where I was all them years. Already when I was 2 or 3 years old, I realized that my mama wasn't as on point as everybody else mama, because she wasn't old enough. You know what I'm saying? My daddy at all wasn't old enough. You know what I'm saying? Man, you know, like when I was 2 or 3 years old, you know, playing with my dad, this nigga was so childish, man. You know what I'm saying? He was childish with a child. We'd throw the football and shit together. And this nigga was the kind of kid, he was spoiled and shit, obviously. So, you know, like, he had me to the point where if I miss a football at 3 or 4 years old, he throwing a ball to me, I catch 20 balls in a row. But if I miss one ball, he won't take his ball and go home. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that, man. Bitch, you drive the ball, I'm going in. And he was serious like that because he used to be a quarterback. And so this is what I'm saying. Like, you know, like, hey, bro, you know, like, man, I'm a child dealing with childish people because of their age and shit like that. And I was just able to see through that shit as a kid. Like, this shit ain't adequate for no child, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, she don't know what the fuck she doing. And he don't know what the fuck he doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, they too motherfucking young. So I was young enough and smart enough to understand that kind of shit. And that's the grown man that I am right now. You know what I'm saying? Since 2 or 3 years old, I realized that, you know, my mom and my dad is more my sisters and my brothers rather than, you know, my parents. I never had a set of parents, so I always had to gravitate to the older people. And I had to look around and listen and find out who really making sense with shit. Because if I wanted to listen at insane shit, I just go to my mama, because she don't never know what the fuck she talking about. She too young and stupid. My dad, he younger and dumber. You know what I'm saying? So, like, goddamn, like, in between all of that, I always had to have a clear, you know, thing with me and God. So, you know, I've been knowing God a bunch of years, man, since I've been 2 or 3. I mean, I really had to pray and get in my head and say, Lord, man, you know, look at this shit, bro. This is some deep shit I'm dealing with, God. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, I ain't gonna make no excuses. You know what I'm saying? Understand everything stacked against me is either I want to live or I won't let it go. And, you know, with me, I came to various points because I wanted to let it go. I was about 11 or 12 years old. I had experienced everything in life that I felt like, nah, this shit ain't worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it don't make no sense. You know, my whole point of existence where I'm at, I ain't gonna never overcome this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And I used to, you know, I stay down the street from a graveyard, man. So I look around and I see the short graves and the big graves and the tall graves and the graves that's in the ground and the graves that's above the ground and all of this shit. And so all that thing I could do is see where I fit in at. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck this, man. You know what I'm saying? This life shit ain't hitting on shit to me. It ain't gonna never hit on shit on to me. And this is how I felt 50 years ago at like 2 years old. You know what I'm saying? But my family and the people that was around, you know, they all knew the situation better than I did, you know. And, you know, my family used to, you know, I was raised by a village, you know what I'm saying? I spent a lot of time with my cousins and a lot of times with friends and stuff like that, man, because, you know, like, my mom and them had other kids and so forth and so on, but I'm first one out the bunch. So it's like it's like I live being the only child. And so I explain all that to say, man, I'm a real independent thinker. Like, people have siblings and people that help influence their thoughts and so forth and so on. I'm not so influenced. I have my own independent thoughts. I have my own independent mind. And I've been having my own independent thoughts and I've been having my own independent mind. And then that's that's what I'm saying. I'm not at all bashful about who I am. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where I come from, you know what I'm saying? Like, we come from, I come from a real neighborhood. Like, I don't come from no mixed neighborhood. I don't come from no half neighborhood. I come from a neighborhood full of niggas. You know what I'm saying? And I look like I look. Light-skinned nigga like me in a neighborhood full of black-ass niggas. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, that part right there, that said a whole lot. A lot of people don't even pay attention to that Willie Lynch shit and all of that shit. So, I'm a light-skinned nigga, you know what I'm saying? Short little nigga and all of this. So, like, when I'm young and small, motherfuckers don't really know who I am and how I am. But I had gravitated to a point of life that, fuck this, I'm alive like the next motherfucker. And I could hurt motherfuckers as well as sitting around and getting hurt. And I'm tired, and I'm not going to live my life just being kicked over and beat over and all of this shit. Fuck my circumstances. Fuck the excuses and all of that shit, no matter what. If they kill me, fuck it. If they whoop my ass, they whoop my ass. But the thing about it is I'm not just going to sit here and let these bitches pick over me and fuck all over my little life existence, because I'm telling you, I'm coming from the thinnest of threads. And I don't give a fuck who know this or don't know it. It's not public information. Motherfuckers that's listening to me right now, they've been knowing me all my fucking life and never knew my mama was that fucking young. You know what I'm saying? Like, all my partners and shit, they mamas is older than my mom and them. You know what I'm saying? But they, she was looking to them, to their mothers and them, and to my friend's mother and my mother was friends, but my mama was friends with older people because she was in an older situation. So, none of them really realized, or they do realize that she, was a teenage girl, with a baby, man, and I look at my little daughter, man, you know what I'm saying, 18, 19 years old and stuff like that, man, and she's so green and young and don't know no better, man, at this phase of her life. And that's what I'm saying, like, man, what the hell would she do with a child? You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I got a dog, you know what I'm saying? The reason I got my dog and stuff, man, was to kind of let them see, like, how life go. You know what I mean? Like, if you see what life is, you know what I'm saying? Life got to be sustained and maintained. And so, before she get out here and start experimenting with herself and all of this type of shit, or experiment with life and come up with a situation like my mama did, that's the main thing I'm looking at with her. Like, damn, man, the whole goal, man, is to get her past where my mama was at, man. You know what I'm saying? My mom was 17 with a kid when I come to the world. So further I get her removed from that, man, the better I feel. So I come up with the dog. The dog come around, and the dog do the thing. You know what I'm saying? That's why I named him Grandson, because I named the dog Grandson so the real grandson don't pop up, which is me. You know what I'm saying? The mistake that people say I am. You know what I'm saying? The fucking the mishap that I am in life, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm here now. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck I'm gonna do with myself? Shrink up, get in the car and lay down and die? No, you know what I'm saying? So this that rah, that scratch, little scrappy dog and shit, all that shit. Yeah, man, I'm fighting for my life, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm hopping around this bitch trying to look alive and act alive and feel alive and be alive and all that shit. Cause it was a time, like I said, man, I was serious. I was like, man, look, God, if this all this shit gonna be, you know what I'm saying, man, go ahead on and take me away from this motherfucker, man. This is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And I done been in other situations where I had to go back to the Lord and tell him, I said, man, Lord, if you put me through all this shit, bro, just for this little fucking point right here, man, this has been a bullshit ride. This is a bullshit story, man. I have a bullshit fucking life. I swear to goodness, that's how I feel. And I felt in certain phases of my life, man. You know what I'm saying? And, I sit back and I deal with whatever got to come with it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't scared of it. I'm going to deal with it once. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, a coward died 1,000 deaths. A real nigga died once. You know what I'm talking about? So if it ain't kill me, nigga, fuck it, nigga. I'm real OG. That's what I am, bitch. I stood through it all. I don't give a fuck how you feel about it, how you twist it, think and understand it, all misunderstand it. Motherfucker, I'm here. Right? And then when I decided that I was here, you know what I'm saying, the world was my problem. But then I started understanding like, no, nigga, you got to turn this around. I'm the problem for the whole motherfucking world. Fuck that. Nigga, don't just sit here and get killed. Kill up some shit before you just die. That's just that. I don't just lay down here and kill yourself. And then why you gotta kill yourself? Because the other motherfucker making you feel like that? Kill a motherfucker that's making you feel like that. Fuck that. Don't just sit here and just sit there and swallow it up. You ain't got to. Nobody ain't got to. This life. Nigga, I got one will in destruction. If I want to destroy, if Malcolm X said, nigga, just take one match. And I swear that's what fucking motivated me. You know what I'm saying? I've been through a whole bunch of shit, man. You know what I'm saying? I could go out quiet or whatever. But then at the end of the day, it's like, fuck that, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm alive too, man. My life means something too. Just as well as the dog, man. And so me having a dog, you know, I've been working with a dog. I never had an animal in my life. Never, you know. And I raise my kids because I tell people I do people, I don't do pets. You gonna do one or the other, you know what I'm saying? There's motherfuckers that love their dog more than they love people. And I never understood that shit. Like, man, hey bro, look, it's motherfuckers I see get more attention to a dog than I could get in my days. I can't get a motherfucker to say good morning, good evening, or whatever. I'm invisible like a motherfucker. That was one of the things of feeling like, you know, coming from my situation with my parents and shit like that. Like, that's one of the things that hang over my head, man. I feel invisible. I feel like my life is meaningless, man. Whether I live or die, it don't matter. So that's why I focus on being a blessing, man, and being helpful. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I be an asshole, I just blend in. It don't matter, you know. Duck him off, it don't count. Stall him out, Debo. He don't matter. But if I help, then somebody could say, I remember that guy, man. He helped me out. And so that was the thing that motivated me in life, man. I'm a barber, you know, shit like that. You know, I'm a cab driver. I do a lot of service. I've been servicing my whole life, man. You know what I'm saying? When I tell people, man, I say, man, you know, hand to hand, how many hands you think you shook in your life? You know what I'm saying? And that's a good estimation, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a good question for anybody to estimate. How many hands have you shook in your life? You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I done shook over maybe 3 million people hands in my life. And that sound out unrealistic, like, God damn, nigga, that's a motherfucking lie. But for real, like, you know, throughout my life, I'm 52 years old, and the things that I was doing, man, you know, I started off in the drug game, then went from the drug game to cutting hair, then from cutting hair to being a cab driver, from being a cab driver to being a janitor at a school, from being a janitor at a school, man, to working in a car dealership, and all of this shit. All of these jobs where it was interaction, personal interaction, and so forth and so on. And so, like I tell people, man, hand-to-hand combat, in order to survive, you know, that was another thing. That's the thing about my survival. You know, I made a choice that I wasn't going to live as the scum of the earth, you know. Bottom feeding, man, you know, being a motherfucker that feels sorry for themselves and looking at shit from the Lord's perspective and expecting the world to, you know, to gravitate to me or level lies around my fucking situation. No, I don't feel like nobody should pump their brakes for me. I don't feel like nobody should cry for a nigga situation like me. That's why I don't. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it become a situation of being smart and dumb, strong and weak. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, that's when that's what your challenges is all. Being strong or being weak. You know what I'm saying? That's the point. And so I decided that being strong is a choice. Being weak is a choice. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't want to be weak because I got weak motherfuckers around me that make me weak. No. So I took my time and I built myself up. You know what I'm saying? And the people that I've seen is weak, I made sure I was stronger than them. That's all I could do. I can't do much else. So I fucking focus on the weak motherfuckers in around me. You know what I'm saying? And making sure that if I don't learn what to do, I learn what not to do. And so that's what I did. That's the best education because I don't know what I want to be, but I know what I don't want to be. And the one thing I don't want to be is a bitch ass motherfucker whining and complaining about my situation, because that's a fucked up story. That's a fucked up existence. And that's not what I'm going to exist as. No bitch ass nigga begging for a chance out here. No bitch ass nigga on his belly. You know what I'm saying? Asking no bitch to do no favors for me. So that's my attitude. When you see, you know what I'm saying, how I talk and how I feel and all this shit, man, I don't do this shit for no motherfucking Facebook. I don't do this shit for no moments. This me 24/7. You know what I'm saying? But y'all get a chance to see it, because this is what I'm going to show you. This is what I'm going to tell you. The rest of these motherfuckers, you know, I play chameleon with these motherfuckers. Nigga, you don't need to know my business. My business ain't nobody business. You see what I'm saying? Your business ain't nobody business. And I don't mind no motherfucking body business, because I'm so busy on my business. And that's the whole point, because I got to survive. So, you know, not having none of the structural fundamentals and this, that, and the other. Love is love to me, man. Loyalty is loyalty to me. My word is my word. You know what I'm saying? The one thing I can't do in this life is lie and steal my way through it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the whole point. And so when I'm holding myself accountable, it make me hold everybody else accountable. That's why I keep saying, fuck the world. Because these niggas don't want to be held accountable. If you had my hands to deal with, nigga, if you had to navigate yourself in this motherfucker since 2 years old, playing situation, politics, and people, since a kid, you know what I'm saying? That shit is tiresome, homie. That's tiresome. And that's what I have to entertain to survive. So yeah, I'm 52. But it feel like I'm 102. Because my grandfather, he just was 95. He just passed away. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like I was 5 years older than him. I felt like I'm 100 already. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to help him get to 100. You know what I'm saying? All him and his sister passed away. His sister made it to be 96. She's born in March. She made it to be 96 at the same time he was making 95, a year apart. And so, you know, my whole thing is I was family with their family. I'm a gray. Both of them is grays. So I'm the only gray left. You know what I'm saying? I took the gray from my grandfather. But with the time and the gray, I get the knowledge, I get the wisdom. I have the knowledge of the greats in my family. I don't just know my grandfather. I know my grandfather's mother and his raising and his families and so forth and so on. I didn't know my grandmother's grandmother, but I knew my grandfather's mother. And we had a bond and we had a relationship, and I carried their name forward. So that's what I'm saying, you know, all of this different stuff, prestige and so forth and so on, man, you know what I'm saying? It gave me a sense of purpose, a sense of value. Where at one time that same story was weighing so heavy on me, man, I didn't want to wear it. So I come up here for these kids, man, that's babies of babies, you know, and to tell the stories and the triumphs that the world forget about us in these situations, you know, the orphans of the world, the people that's often overlooked because of situations, you know, parental situations. We all come here from something, you know. The most of us are here. I tell people I'm the product of a fuck. I was busting, I'm a nut that was busting a fuck, like the cavemen. Yeah. I'm the nut that was busting the fuck, like the cavemen. Goodness gracious, Lord, can you save me? I'm sitting in the belly of the beast about to go crazy. Yeah, when I was locked up, man, in CCC and shit, that's what fucking got my mind together. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was a motherfucking, you know, I thought I was a gorilla, a goon and shit. Niggas had showed me how to be and all this shit. And man, I ended up in that motherfucking CCC, House of D, HOD, the fucking tents outside, OPP, you know what I'm saying? The red band, the blue band, and all of this shit. I'm saying that because of the fucking rap. You know what I'm saying? That's what a rap had, man. Nigga, I was sitting in the belly of the beast about to go crazy. Maybe if I'd have prayed and I stayed in the church. Because, you know, that was one of the things that was happening for me. God had me in the church early, man. My grandma never... Man, I'm going to church, bro. I had to go to church. I went to Sunday school, then went to church. I went to Bible studies on Tuesdays, prayer meeting on Wednesday, choir rehearsal on Thursdays. You know what I'm saying? The church supper on Friday. You know what I'm saying? And it's in the Saturday picnic, man, nigga, we was in church 5, 6, 7 days a week, which had extreme profound importance in my life, man, because like the thing about that experience is that those things that was instilled to me as a child, I've grown and I've seen life multiply and duplicate and reduce and be subtracted from. I've seen a lot of equations come together and fall apart. And so that word is real. I can tell you that, man. I've been around long enough, and a lot of the outlandish stuff that you might not think have no relevancy to life or your life or whatever it is, that Bible is real, bro. And I'm here to tell you in living time, like, I have no qualms with it. None of this. I don't have no qualms with none of the Bibles, the Quran, the Torah. I have no qualms with none of them, because what I started understanding is it's all a different language. It's a different language that's been prescribed by different people. And so, like, if you get somebody that want to say 6 and you get somebody who want to say half a dozen, you know what I'm saying? It all depends on where you coming from, how they apply it. Some people won't understand half a dozen, and they don't want to, go through the ramification to understand that you mean 6. They're not going through all of that. They're going by what you're saying. And so, 6 means 6 where it mean, half a dozen mean half a dozen. Christ mean Christ, Allah mean Allah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and people not going in between it. Yahweh mean Yahweh, Jehovah mean Jehovah, and people they're not going in between it because they can't fathom the bigger picture. And I get it. And so that's what I'm saying, man. My perspective is unique, man. I come from a unique unique place in life. I've been hanging on in this world, man, from this thread to that thread. I tell people all the time, man, I somersault with no net. When you go to the circus and you see the people somersaulting and flipping and tripping and this, that, and other, they all doing all that because they know they got a net under them. You know what I'm saying? So when they slip and they sweaty hands slip or they lose their grip, they hit the net. Well, I've been somersaulting for years with no net, and I ain't hit the ground yet. And that's the whole point of this story. That's the whole point of everything that I'm saying, man. This will make it be real shit in real time, man. So, like, my point of views, how I am, rah, all this other shit. This is really how I am. I ain't no bullshit ass nigga. I don't bullshit with nobody. I don't waste time with nobody. I don't waste words with nobody. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna fuck with you if I ain't gotta fuck with you. But if it's something that I got to fuck with you with, you will get fucked with. And that's just the bottom line. And I don't give a fuck who you is or how you is or what it is. Bitch, if I got to tell you something, you gon' hear it. Fuck that. That's me. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole reason that I'm by myself and I do what I do. And I got to be by myself to feel the way I feel, man, because it's just me and God, man. So that's what I'm saying. When I come down to y'all, I be coming from a heavenly place. I've been with God my whole life, man, walking with God. Now, the spirit. You know what I'm saying? In the flesh and the physical, I'm by myself. But I ain't never alone because the spirit is with me. And so, again, that's what I'm relying on. So since a kid, man, like I told people, I've been listening to the whisper. The whisper in my head said, no, don't do that. Go this way. He lying. Fuck her. That ain't right. You hear this motherfucker? Yeah, that's how my shit be talking to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm convinced, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's nothing else. Everything that I do, everything that I know, every place I've ever been, that's how I got there, listening to the whisper. So I just be coming here, man, to get the kids the encouragement, whoever have unfortunate situations, man, to know that your life ain't a mistake. You know what I'm saying? We all have a purpose and a plan. And I came in this thing, feeling lost. But the thing is that whoever created me had a role that I had to play. And I just had to be courageous about it. And I had to embrace it. And that's what I've been doing. I've been courageous and I've been embracing it. You know what I'm saying? But it's been scary. It's been nothing to count on. But I just put it in my mind that I was going to make the best out of this ride. Rather than complain and whine and see it from what I don't have, look at it from what I do have. and control what I can, and then let go of what I can't. You know what I'm saying? See, you know, people and places, man, you know, it's different for me because I don't have the tie to people and places like people and places have the ties to. So I could see through shit when it come down to importance of who important to me and who not important to me. I'm very homely, very loving, very, very interactive, man. You know what I'm saying? You'll never know that, you know, I could put distance in between us, man. If I love you, I love you. But when that love is invalid, you'll understand what life mean to me, because I see through people. I see through phases, man. If I walk away from my mother and my father, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I turn my back on them, man, to live my life. That was the requirements for me to live, so I felt. You know what I'm saying? I don't interact with neither one of my people, but I don't interact with people in general because it's about God. What the fuck a man gonna do, man? What the fuck a person gonna do? What the fuck my mama gonna teach me? My mama can't teach me how to be me. My daddy can't teach me how to be me. Nobody couldn't teach me how to be me because I'm in my own unique situation. And that's my whole point for putting you in my fucking business, to let you know, nigga, this is how I gotta handle my life. So when you hear how I talk, how I move, and all of this shit, that's the only reason that I give you this fucking briefing. Because other than that, this is my advantage on the game. I'm allowed to see what you can't see. I'm allowed to think like you can't think. And I'm allowed to talk and do what you can't do. So until you give yourself the permission to be a nigga like me, you're going to always be where you at, not knowing the shit that I'm telling you. So, you know, like, I've been validating myself. This is not new. This is old validation. And so when you see me doing the things that I'm doing and saying the same things that I'm saying, understand it's just a man with a unique perspective. An untainted brain, uninfluenced. All of these motherfuckers out here, you know, this social media shit, man, you can see the influence that life have on everybody. I'm uninfluenced. I'm unfiltered. And I'm unbiased about what's real to me. Real over right. I'm going to always do what's real to me over what's right to you. 1,000 wild, baby.
Champion. Champion.
Global.
Champion. Champion.
Global.